Hey guys, it's Swazo, and today we're going to be looking back on 2018 and doing a little bit of reflecting and thinking about the future, New Year's resolutions, all that stuff. I'm actually recording this on New Year's Eve, so this will more than likely be uploaded after the New Year has passed, in which case, Happy New Year. I hope you've had a good year so far. Your one day of 2019, I hope it was good. I hope you all had a great New Year's Eve, whether you stayed in and just chilled out at home, if you went out to party, to celebrate, whatever you did. I hope that you had a great time and a great start to 2019, and hey, if you didn't, there's a whole year ahead of you, plenty of chances to have a good year. I also hope that you had a good Christmas if you celebrate it. If you didn't celebrate it, I hope you had a good day regardless. I know I'm a bit late on that, but that's just because, if you've noticed, I haven't uploaded in a while. About 2 weeks before Christmas, I think I had like 2 videos planned out to upload, like Christmassy makeup videos and stuff, but everything just was really stressful and overwhelming at that time. Things kept going wrong and I just kind of burnt myself out, and I just had to kind of take a break basically for a little while. So I'm sorry that I haven't uploaded much recently. I've been trying to be in the routine of uploading weekly, which I have done pretty well at up until that point, and this time of year wreaks havoc on my mental health. Things just suddenly become so much more difficult out of nowhere. Just suddenly I want to sleep all day. I never want to get out of bed. I don't want to do anything. I just want to stuff my face with carbs. I'm sure a few of you know what I mean. It's a tough time, but I got through it and I'm ready to get back into the swing of things and do it better than ever. I don't know if you noticed, but my boyfriend for Christmas got me a brand new lens for my camera, so the video quality is going to be a little bit higher, which is awesome. I've wanted a new lens for so long and I'm super happy with this lens. Like, when I opened the present and got the lens out, I literally almost cried. Let me know what you think of my new lens in the comments. Thank you to Will, I'm very happy. But anyway, now that I'm done with this rambly, super long intro, I want to take some time to look back on this past year, 2018, which flew by so quickly, by the way. From like September to now, that just zoomed past. Like, I feel like we only just finished Halloween and now we're in 2019. I spent like the whole beginning of the year getting excited for Christmas, and then Christmas finally came and went. Like, it was a good Christmas though. I just wish that it lasted a little bit longer, because now it's New Year and it's time to kind of take everything down. But looking back on 2018, I want to start with the good things that happened in 2018, because a few good things did happen. This past year's been kind of up and down. It hasn't been the best year, but it definitely hasn't been the worst year. The first thing I really want to touch on that was a lot better this year than other years was my mental health in general. If you don't know, I suffer with anxiety, very strong social anxiety, which actually has got a little bit better this year. I think YouTube and talking to a camera pretty often has a little bit to do with that. I feel like I'm able to speak better, if that makes sense. I used to stumble a lot with my words, and I still do like loads of takes with certain sentences I say. I used to find actually speaking, especially when I was nervous, very difficult. I'd like stutter, I'd mumble my words, I'd often talk a bit too fast without realising, so I'd just stumble over my words and it would make me feel even more anxious and more panicky, and then it would just get worse and worse. But I think having YouTube, being able to turn my thoughts of what I want to say into actual words and not messing up nearly as much as I used to, there's definitely been an improvement there, which I'm super happy about. I used to have to like think about the exact sentence I was going to say and then like practice it over and over, like do so many takes of like just one sentence. Used to make editing a pain. I'm a lot better at that now. Most of the time I just think about what I'm going to say and I'm able to say it. That might not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but for me, that was something I really used to struggle with. It's just a lot easier now. I'm a lot more comfortable on camera now, which is awesome. That's something I always wanted. Although in terms of social anxiety in my real life, it hasn't really got that much better. It's a little bit better. I've managed to make actual friends, which again may not seem like a big thing to a lot of people, but ever since I left high school when I was 16, I'm 22 now. Whoa. I haven't really had many like actual friends. It wasn't until this year that I actually genuinely made friends, like myself, like talking to people, not really in person. That's kind of difficult for me, but I mean, like, I used to even struggle to make friends online, but I've managed to make some online friends that I really do care about. I'm so super happy and grateful for that. Me 1 year ago, I wouldn't think that I would be here. I still have a very long way to go with that, but I'm still really proud of myself for how far I have come. Also, with my anxiety this year, my panic attacks have been like nowhere near the year before. I may have only had like no more than 2 panic attacks this year, which is incredible considering I was on medication for about 1.5 years to help stop panic attacks specifically, which was propranolol. If you wanted to know, it kind of dulls the physical symptoms of panic attacks and anxiety to make it more easy to deal with, like, so you don't have to worry about the physical symptoms as much. Being on that definitely did help and gave me a push, but I'm no longer on that medication and I haven't really had panic attacks, which is incredible. Like, that's genuinely a massive... I didn't expect to just suddenly want to cry. I really don't want to ruin my makeup today. I just spent hours on it. I never really thought about how far I actually had come this year. I've actually done a lot better than I thought I did. Also, something that ties into that is I used to struggle pretty badly with depression. While my anxiety has still been pretty prominent, kind of a thing that affects my everyday life still, although I have come a long way, that's still a big part of my life. I don't consider myself depressed anymore. I think I stopped being clinically depressed like quite a while ago now. I still have my ups and downs, especially this time of year. Things get very difficult. I still obviously, like, I mean, maybe not obviously, but I do still experience a lot of symptoms. There are still some days, it's more rare now, but there are still some days where it feels like the depression never left. I still struggle a bit some days. I don't consider myself depressed, which is, again, insane. I'm definitely the strongest right now than I ever have been in my entire life, and that's so refreshing to say. And like I said, I came off of propranolol for my anxiety, but I also came off of antidepressants. If you want to know, I was on 40 milligrams of fluoxetine, also known as Prozac, and that definitely did help. I definitely feel like I did definitely need that, and it really gave me the push to kind of work on myself and get myself better. I was very lucky to find a medication that worked for me very early on. I know that a lot of people, it takes a long time to find the right medication for them, so yeah, about like a few months ago, maybe a bit more than a few months ago, I want to say maybe 4 to 6 months ago, I'm not sure, I could be completely wrong, definitely no more than 6 months ago, I don't remember, honestly, I'm not sure. About that long ago, I came off of both propranolol and fluoxetine, and coming off of those was one of the best decisions I ever made. Not that I regret being on them, I definitely think that I needed to, and they definitely helped me to get to this point, but I'm so glad that I came off of them when I did. I don't know, it was just, I kind of felt ready. Obviously, if you're on medication, you should definitely talk to your doctor before deciding whether it's right to come off of them. Since coming off of them, I have reached some very low points that I never really used to when I was on them. I noticed for the first like few weeks of coming off of them, my anger was pretty bad, as I never really struggled with anger like that much. It was always just low moods, and I'd have like mega mood swings and stuff like that, but I didn't used to have so much anger. Like tiny things wouldn't bother me as much as they did when I first came off of them. Like that was very worrying for me at first, but that's definitely died down a lot. Like it's not anywhere near as bad as it was. I guess that's just kind of the sort of withdrawals I had. Didn't really get depressed as much. It was mainly just anger, but I definitely got a lot better. I don't really struggle that much with that anymore. My good moods have been like, you know, a lot more good. Like I've had like higher moods than I would have done if I stayed on them, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people feel the same way about antidepressants, where it kind of compresses your moods, like it stops you from feeling super low, but at the same time it also stops you from feeling super high. It's not like that for everyone, but I know a lot of people do feel like that, and I think that's why a lot of people say that their medication makes them feel like a zombie and stuff like that. I can definitely see where that comes from, because I feel things so much more extreme now. I'm really glad. Even though I can reach some really low points, I'm so glad, so worth it to be able to feel as much as I do now. I don't just feel numb, and that's, I think, the most positive thing about this year for me. That's the best thing that has happened this year. Another thing that I managed to do this year was, I talked about this a little bit in my channel, but I haven't really gone that much in depth. But just like the depression, I've struggled on and off with alcohol. It's not something I really talk about much. It's a bit weird to talk about it. I've always spent most of my time like not addressing it as a problem, just more something about my personality. I've definitely had problems with alcohol, and not so much alcohol addiction. I don't think I've ever been an alcoholic. I've never had like physical like withdrawals or anything. It's only really been like mental stuff. But I would drink very, very often, like weekly. Like going an entire week without alcohol used to be like insane to me. Like I just couldn't like comprehend that, going like an entire week without drinking. Like that just seemed just wrong almost. Felt like alcohol was like just a part of my life, and it was always going to be a part of my life. But I definitely started to have negative effects from that. I started to realise just how much I depended on it. Especially to face things that made me anxious. I can now face things that make me anxious without alcohol, which is great. It was just very difficult for me to think of a life without alcohol, and I drank a lot very often. I couldn't just have like one drink. Like if I was going to drink, which I mean I was going to drink, but like when I did, I just had to go. I had to really go hard at it. Like I never felt satisfied with drinking unless I got really drunk. In September, I think it was, this year, I decided to try and go an entire month without drinking. It may not seem like a big deal, like something very difficult to a lot of people, but for me, like that was a long time. But I was determined to do it. I wanted to prove myself that alcohol did not have any hold over me. And I did it. I managed to stay sober for an entire month. That whole month sober taught me so much about myself. It taught me that I have so much more self-control than I think I do. It showed me that I'm stronger than I think I am. I can face things that I didn't think I could without alcohol. That month had a massive part in me realising my self-worth. It showed me that I am so much stronger than I thought I was. And that 1 month alone really just helped me mentally. I also feel like I've improved a lot with my makeup this year. I look back at my old pictures from a year ago and it's like, wow, like that looks really bad. I mean, not quite that intense, but I look back at some of my pictures from a year ago and I look at them and think I can do so much better than that now. I feel like with my eye look that I've done today, I feel like that would have been so difficult and it would have looked so bad if I tried this a year ago. So that's another awesome thing. This year I passed 10,000 followers on Instagram, which has been my goal for so long. I'm now sitting at 13.6k, which is awesome. I'm so proud of that. That was literally such a huge goal for me for so long, and it finally happened. And on YouTube I passed 5,000 subscribers. You guys, thank you so much. It's so awesome to see that I'm actually starting to grow. I think I'm now at 5.2k. I can't wait to keep growing my channel. I'm not going to give up anytime soon. It makes me so happy, and I'm so grateful for everyone that subscribes, everyone that watches my videos. It literally means so much to me, because this is my dream job, and to see it actually taking off. I mean, I'm still a very small channel obviously, but to see that I'm starting to grow, my growth is getting faster and faster as time goes on, is just amazing. My next goal is 10k. I'm gonna aim to get 10k next year. I want to get at least 10k subscribers in 2019. I'm sure we can do it. We can do it. So that's pretty much all of the positives I can think of this year. This year has been a great year for growth, but there have also been some bad times. The first bad thing about this year that happened right at the beginning of this year was one of the dogs in the family passed away right at the beginning of the year. She got very sick and it just wasn't improving. Things got really bad. She ended up not being able to eat or drink, and if she did, she'd just throw it all up, and she couldn't keep anything down, and she was very weak. So we made the choice to have her put down. She meant a lot to me. She was always so adorable. She had the cutest little face, and she like did this really cute thing where she just kind of perch her head on things, like just rest her head on things. Like if you were like sitting on the floor and you were stroking her, she could like, sometimes she'd just like rest her head on your leg, on your lap and things. She was so adorable, and it was really heartbreaking when she had to go. It was one of the hardest things that I ever had to sit through. We all loved her so much, and I still miss her. We all still miss her. It still doesn't feel right to have her not here. It's still difficult to think that she's not here. It still feels really strange. Yeah, that was definitely, it wasn't a very good start to the year because of that. And more recently also we lost one of our hamsters, Jackson. He was an adorable little dwarf hamster. He was always so sweet. I remember the first time I held him, like, he didn't even need taming really. He was just already tame, and he was so lovely and adorable. He, unfortunately, not too long ago, it was around the end of November, I went to check on him and he had passed away in his sleep, and I still miss him. We do have one more hamster. You can see her cage at the back there. You can see her massive wheel. She is a massive girl, but she is so sweet. I love her so much. She makes me smile literally every day. On top of that, we also lost a few absolute legends this year, including Steven Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob. That one really got me. As a kid growing up, I was a massive SpongeBob fan. I owe a lot of my childhood and a lot of laughs and good times, I owe a lot of that to Steven Hillenburg. That was really upsetting. This hasn't been a good year for loss. I guess that's all the negatives about this year, both the positives and the negatives. I know a lot of people see a new year as just another day, but for me, I like to see it as kind of like a reset almost. I think it's always good to really reflect on the year you've had. Now that we've looked at all that, I kind of want to start thinking about my goals, New Year's resolutions, my goals for the new year. If you've made it this far in the video, like, wow, congratulations, thank you so much. Thank you for even caring about the things that have happened in my life this past year. I want to say out loud my goals and New Year's resolutions on today's video, just because I feel like getting it out there and actually speaking it, I don't really know how to explain it. I feel like just getting it out there will make me more likely to actually go through with it, because I don't want to just say I'm going to do something and then just end up not doing it. Side note, it's starting to get dark outside. If it's a little bit darker, then I'm sorry, I can't control the sun. One of my first goals is to get back into healthy eating, at least making sure I eat a steady 3 meals a day, incorporating at least a few vegetables into my day-to-day life, because I don't do that enough anymore. When I used to eat vegetables every day, I don't really eat them every day anymore, so I definitely need to get back into that. And I feel like just the act of eating healthy helps me take care of myself in a lot of other ways. I also want to start taking time to actually focus on my mental health, taking time to like journal my thoughts. Journaling has always been really difficult for me, so that one might fall through, but I want to try my best to kind of at least take some time out of my day to think about the day I've had, the thoughts and emotions I've had, focusing on reflecting on my own mental health, because I don't do that enough. Another goal is to stay on top of my YouTube channel, to upload weekly. It can be difficult at times, but I want to really push myself to do it. I know that I can do it, so uploading weekly on my YouTube channel is big priority for me in the new year. Another goal is to actually see my family and friends in person more, because I have barely done that this year. I'm sorry this has been quite a long video. There was just a lot that I wanted to talk about. My throat feels a bit sore now because I'm not used to talking this much for this long. Let me know in the comments what your New Year's resolutions are, obviously only if you're comfortable with sharing them. But yeah, I guess that wraps up today's video. I'm really glad that I did this video. It's just really nice to talk things out sometimes. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful new year, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!